Hello and welcome to week 2 of third grade art for Virtual Academy. I really enjoyed seeing the pictures that you guys shared from last week, and I hope that you were able to see each other's pictures as well. So for this week, we're actually going to dive into a project that is meant to take 2 weeks. So we're going to start a project this week, and then we're going to give you the instructions for the next part the following week. So this week we're going to be talking about something called contour lines, and I'm going to explain what that's all about. I'm also going to show you the project that we're going to be doing, and I'm going to demonstrate that for you, and then we'll talk about what to do with your paper when you're finished with your project to save it for next week. So let's jump right in. So this week we're going to talk about contour lines, and the first thing we need to do is figure out what a contour line is. So a contour line defines the outline of an object without the use of shading. So basically a contour line is the lines of a drawing without any of the color, any of the shading, or anything else that is different from a line. So these are 2 examples of contour drawings right here. You can see how it's just lines, no shading, no colors, and that's it. So we're going to be doing a found object tracing project so that we can find the contour lines of some of our items in our house. So I'm going to be demonstrating this for you. I will put this slideshow in the Google Classroom for you to read if you need to, but I will be explaining this whole process to you and doing it with you as well. So we need to find an object in our home that we can define just by the contours. So if you think about something like a pair of scissors, think about if you were to trace that. And I think it would be good if you actually took some of these items and traced them on a whiteboard, and then you asked other people in your home if they knew what the object was. So a pair of scissors, when traced, looks kind of like a pair of scissors, but maybe something that's just round would be really hard to figure out what it is. So see if you can find an object in your home that you can define just by the contour lines. Again, the instructions for the projects are here in the slideshow, and you can go back and read them if you want to, but I'm going to show you how to do this as well. So let's get started on our contour line drawing. For this project, you're going to need something to write on. Any white paper will work. Computer paper is fine. If you have drawing paper, that would work as well. You're going to need something to trace the contours of, so we kind of talked about using a variety of supplies like scissors or glue bottles. I decided to use a glue bottle because I just think it has a really interesting shape and it could turn out really cool. But you'll just need something to trace the contour of, and then you need something to trace it with. I am going to use a black Sharpie, but I do recommend that you use a pencil for yours, and then if you choose to go over it with black Sharpie, you can. I'm going to use black Sharpie so that it shows up better on camera, but I really do suggest starting with a pencil first. So let's get started. Alright, so we will be tracing our glue bottle onto our paper. We're going to try to do it 10 times. My paper is kind of small, so I might not get 10 tracings on here, but we will be overlapping them, so we'll see what we come up with. Again, I recommend that you do yours with a pencil, but I'm going to do mine with a Sharpie so that it's easier for you guys to see. And if you'd also like to do that, you can certainly try that. Alright, so I'm going to start by tracing my glue bottle right here near the middle of my paper. Try your best to put your marker or your pencil straight up and down along the edge, and hold it really carefully because this glue bottle is trying to move, and then my contour won't be smooth. Alright, so you can see that I have a couple mistakes here. I'm not going to worry about that. If I was using a pencil, I would clean those up, but since I'm using a marker, I'm just going to leave them. And next week when we do color, maybe I can try to cover those up. Alright, so before I do any of my inside details to my glue bottles, I'm going to trace it as many times as I can. If I'm going to let some of my glue bottle hang off the paper, I'm going to try to make sure it's not the more interesting parts. Let's do this. All right, it's a little hard to tell, and it's supposed to be, but I think I have about 10 glue bottles on here. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna try to do some of the details from the inside of the glue bottle, like the separation of the orange cap and then the white cap, and then just the outline of the label. So first, let's go through and do this part on all of our bottles. So we're just gonna okay, and then we'll do this separation of this cap here. And then we're gonna do just a rectangle shape for the label. I almost feel like that would be too much on this glue bottle, so let's do the rest. Maybe this one too, but let's do the rest and then see what it looks like. You could also leave it like this too, but I kind of want to add just a little bit more. So we're gonna do our labels as well. And I just noticed I missed this line here. Okay, so that one's done. Let's do the label on this one. And if I was using a pencil, I would draw them, and then if I didn't like them, I would erase them, but I'm using a marker. Let's try the label on this one and see what we think. Okay, I actually like that. I think it looks cool. So let's go ahead and do this too. All right, so I think that is our finished contour drawing. So it should be a little bit hard to tell what you're looking at. I can still tell that these are glue bottles, and I feel like most people would too, but we definitely have a lot of areas of overlapping lines where it gets just a little bit blurry and hard to tell what we're looking at. So here's my contour line drawing. So here is my contour line drawing all finished. Like I said, it's sometimes a little bit hard to tell what you're looking at in a contour line drawing, especially when you've done all this overlapping, but that's okay. It's kind of like abstract art. So we are going to talk about how we want to color this next week. So that means that we're finished with it for this week. You can upload a photo of it if you would like, or you can wait until we have colored it to do your official turning in. So I'm going to keep this in a safe place until next week. So I would recommend putting it in a folder. Maybe you could hang it on the fridge if you're sure that it's going to be safe up there, or just put it somewhere where you know it's not going to get messed up. So we'll talk about how to color it next week. I can't wait to see what you guys come up with, and let me know if you have any questions. Bye.